Welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. The end of the 2016-17 NFL season is here. Let's talk about the last week, week 17. And real quick, if you hear a fan in the background, it's because right now on my laptop, I'm uploading a video, rendering a video, and editing a video all at the same time, and my laptop is giving me hell. So ignore that. So let's go ahead and start and finish. Just get out of here. Week 17, not a big deal because even though you may want a little more from me talking about this game or your team or whatever, I'm coming out with season recaps for each and every team in the NFL starting maybe Wednesday or Thursday or maybe even tomorrow if I really feel like it. So don't worry, I'm going to be talking plenty about your teams in the very near future. Stay tuned for that. Let's start in Minnesota. As the Minnesota Vikings defeat the Chicago Bears 38-10, a game that will certainly make sure that Mike Zimmer keeps his job and may mean that Sam Bradford will keep his, as he threw 3 touchdowns today, as he broke the NFL record for completion percentage. Talk about anticlimactic, being on a team that's not going to make the playoffs and you break the completion percentage record. That tells you how meaningless that record is. I mean, let's just call it what it is. They constructed this offense very nicely for him and whatever, but they haven't been able to put up points, right? So who cares? Today they did, right? But they're facing the Bears, who stink. Now the Bears. You scored 10 today, and Matt Barkley proves that, yeah, he's not the guy. Okay, the guy had like multiple turnovers, a couple interceptions, a fumble, and you just say, yeah, this guy's not good enough. Now, still, he's probably going to be on the roster. I'm not sure if he's a free agent. I would presume he is. I don't know why they signed him to a multi-year deal. So I don't know who's going to be the quarterback in Chicago next year. You don't know who's going to be the quarterback in Chicago next year. It's going to be a fun off season for the Chicago Bears. I would fire John Fox. Honestly, I would, but I'll talk about that more in my Bears recap. They won't, but 6-10 and then 3-13. He's old. He's conservative, old-fashioned. To me, I'd fire him. We'll worry about that later, though. Vikings, though, you have some momentum heading into the offseason, and you go the exact record I told you would go before the season, 8-8. Let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As they defeat the Carolina Panthers 17-13, Jameis Winston breaks the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team record for touchdowns, which is pretty sad. But, hey, he got it done. And he had another interception today, and that brings him to 18 on the season, I'm pretty sure. And that's too much for him, but I liked his season this year, and I expect... Maybe not expect, but I like this Bucs team to make the playoffs next year. They're going to have to make a couple moves, okay, improve in the secondary a little bit, make sure that Brent Grimes doesn't leave, or that if he leaves, you get a good replacement, finally get Jameis Winston a good number 2 weapon in terms of the wide receiving core. I know Adam Humphries had a pretty good game today. Get a second wide receiver, then put Adam Humphries' wide ass in the slot. That's what they need to do. Okay. As for this Carolina Panthers team, you lose. It's been a horrible season, a terrible season, and the most disheartening thing is Cam Newton isn't very good. This Panthers defense only let up 17 today on the road. Cam Newton has to get this game done. Has to win this for its football team. He threw 3 interceptions, couldn't convert the 2-point conversion at the end of the game to go ahead and win the game. Not very good at all. I mean, just a horrible pick 6 thrown to Brent Grimes, giving the other team 7 points. Absurd. So the defense didn't even let up 17. What am I talking about? They let up 10. Cam Newton spotted the other team 7 points. He needs to be better. Right now, if we're ranking the 32 quarterbacks, he's not 16. The guy's been bad this season. He needs to improve again. Let's move on to the Indianapolis Colts as they defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-20. And real quick, if I do not talk about a game here, it's because I already talked about it in another video, just for you newbies out there. So the Colts beat the Jaguars. They were down early, like 17-3, but they came back. Andrew Luck with a comeback reminiscent of his freshman and sophomore campaigns in the NFL, of his rookie and sophomore campaigns in the NFL. And good, right? I guess. I know some Colts fans out there probably wanted to get a better draft pick, but they win the game. And as for the Jags, though, hey, you showed some fight under Doug Marrone. Now, is that enough for me to keep him? I don't know. If they keep him, I won't be upset. If they don't, I won't be upset either. I'm a Titans fan. I really don't care. In fact, I prefer they just hire the worst person available. But anyway, I would consider it. He just needs to blow me away in the interview process. He needs to say, I'm going to do this, and I have to be agreeing with him and nodding my head like I'm under some sort of hypnosis for me to hire Doug Marrone as my head coach, right? That's a big move to make. Let's move on. Miami Dolphins defeat. No, they don't defeat. Miami Dolphins get defeated. All right, get blown out by the New England Patriots 35-14. Patriots had their number early. Yes, they let up a little bit of a comeback in the second and third quarter, but man, this game was never really up for grabs to me. The Patriots were kind of just toying around. Two straight touchdown drives to start the game by Tom Brady, who made one hell of an effort for MVP. Perhaps he'll end up winning it, but I think Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers, they really superseded today, and they really solidified themselves as the 1 and 2 candidates. If Tom Brady would have played all 16 games, he probably would have won it. But unfortunately, this is not the truth of this season. With the way Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers both threw for damn near 40 touchdowns, one of them did throw for 40 touchdowns, I don't think you can give it to Tom Brady. I think that'd just be, you cannot say that Tom Brady was worth 125% of Aaron Rodgers or Matt Ryan, right? You just can't say that to me. But whatever, we'll see how they vote. It'll be very interesting to see how they vote. But anyway, Edelman went off and he was pissed. God, that guy was talking trash to some Dolphins guys. You know, this was a very heated game. The rivalry is real between Miami and New England. And maybe this will actually be a rivalry worth a damn. You know, if the Dolphins keep doing something, and there's a new regime with Adam Gase and everything. They have new good uniforms and a good logo and whatever, right? There's a new regime. Perhaps this will be a rivalry. And perhaps the Dolphins are here to stay. I'm not going to go out and say that, right? If we're looking at the teams that are probably going to miss the playoffs next year, they're probably at the top of the list. But I'm interested, right? So we'll see what happens in the future. Will you win in the playoffs? Probably not. But we will see in the future as well. We move on to the Cincinnati Bengals beating the Baltimore Ravens handedly, 27-10. And, you know, I picked the Ravens to win this game. I don't know why. I even said in my picks video, man, I don't think the Ravens would sweep the Bengals. And no, they did not. A merciful ending for the Ravens this season. Just a terrible ending. You just can't lose like this, a division opponent. I know you're on the road, but this is bad. C. Smith is done. Your receiving core is now terrible. Now it's terrible. I know Mike Wallace had a good season, but there's no way in hell he's going to replicate this next season. Nor should you want him to. You should go out and get a number one wide receiver, but the problem is there's not many to be had. I know you like Brashad Perriman. I know he caught a deep ball today, but I know that guy's very inconsistent. Not a great route runner, not a great pass catcher, right? He needs a damn wide receiver, and that's a problem to me. So I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to, man, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have a good draft class. This draft class, though, I would say was pretty good. Ronnie Stanley's been very good. I like the Tavon Young, the cornerback that you guys got. There have been some pieces in this draft class. So I've been impressed, but there's still a lot of holes here. And will Terrell Suggs and Elvis Dumervil be good again next year? Dumervil wasn't even great this season. Man, this Ravens team, they're in a serious rut that I don't know how to get out of. Ozzie Newsome's going to have to draft his way out of this one. Or maybe pick up free agents, but that's just not their move. And some people blame, I'm not going to talk about all this here, but some people blame Joe Flacco's contract for this, but I think that's BS. He only takes up maybe 15% of the cap at most. You know, you still have to spend the other 85%, and you haven't been doing a good job of that. You went into the season with Justin Forsett, Terrence Williams, and Kenneth Dixon as your running backs, and you're shocked that at week 17 you still don't have a running back? That's dumb. Bengals, though, good win. I've liked Andy Dalton this year. I really have. I think his pressure has been the worst he's ever had this year. In fact, I know that that's just a damn truth, honestly, to me. I've liked Andy Dalton. I like Andy Dalton better than Sam Bradford, than the Osweiler-Savage duo, than still Ryan Tannehill. I like him better than Ryan Tannehill. I think Andy Dalton is actually pretty good. Not very good, but pretty good. And I think he's going to bounce back next year. I think this Bengals team is going to bounce back next year. Even under Marvin Lewis. I think they will. Let's move on to the New York Jets hosting and beating the Buffalo Bills 30-10. And the Buffalo Bills are a joke, man. They're a disaster, man. You guys are in serious trouble, man. I don't know what road y'all are going down. I don't know what's his name, John Bon Jovi or whoever's owning the Bills these days. They're the Pegulas. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, y'all are in trouble. You're bench Tyrod Taylor. You see this game, you missed Tyrod Taylor during this game. I mean, so sorely missed during this game as EJ Manuel comes in, does nothing, throws an interception. Cardale Jones comes in, does nothing, throws an interception. You couldn't do anything without these guys. And then for now, I'm hearing reports that you guys love Cardale Jones. I haven't seen him in practice, but what I saw during the game, not very impressive. I think he led one touchdown drive, but that's it, man. Tyrod Taylor, this guy's pretty good, and now he's going to leave out of the door, get paid a lot of money, and be pretty successful somewhere else. And I don't know what road you guys are going down, but I don't like it at all. Y'all gonna have to sign some free agents and make some good draft picks, or y'all are in serious trouble in Buffalo. This game could be indicative of your next season. This was bad. And as for the Jets, will this be indicative of your next season? Not quite. Ryan Fitzpatrick is gone, but he had one nice send-off right after the terrible send-off that he had last season when he blew the game against the Dolphins, I think, or maybe it was the Bills. He had a good game here, a good send-off here. We still don't like him. We still know that he stinks, but he's better than Bryce Petty, right? Who, to me, I'm writing a dissertation. I'm writing a 6-page essay on this, on why Bryce Petty is the most terrible, awful quarterback in the history of human history, right? Dating back to Homo erectus, there has never been a quarterback more terrible than Bryce Petty. I'm writing this dissertation, and I'm going to release it to the public very soon, believe you me of that, okay? So, Jets stink, but this was a nice victory, all right? You would go 5-11, and that's just not good, but you win this game. Yay. Hopefully you can build some momentum. Mike McCagnon and Todd Bowles will be back next season. Let's move on to the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Dallas Cowboys. And this is very interesting, man. Tony Romo. Tony Romo comes in for this game, comes in for one series, and has a hell of a series. Now, if I was to grade this series, I would not say it was an A. I would say probably a B+, right? He was able to throw, the first pass he threw should have probably been intercepted, right? It was a terrible throw inside, really inside, like to the cornerback. If he was throwing to the cornerback, it'd be inside. Like, this was really inside throw, inaccurate throw. And then followed up by getting a couple completions and then getting a pass interference call, which I guess is good. And then having a hell of a touchdown throw. I mean, this was a great touchdown throw and a great route by Terrence Williams. And you sit back and you say, wow, this guy's pretty good. But what we do not want to do, or at least what I don't want to do, what I don't want to start the conversation about is Tony Romo starting over Dak Prescott. I mean, I can't believe this door is still open. Guys, the door is closed, man. It's over. When Tony Romo made that press conference, said this and that and the other, it's over, man. He's conceded it. Everyone's moved on, except for the Cowboy Romo stands that won't shut up. It's over. Now, if we look back on the season and let's say you guys lose in the conference championship game or the divisional championship game or the Super Bowl and Dak Prescott doesn't play well, and you want to say Tony Romo would have led us to the promised land, you may be right. Because, I mean, what I saw today was pretty freaking impressive, but that's just not what's going to happen. I'm sorry. This is the road you're going down. And one thing that I don't like about this whole Romo discussion, one of the main arguments for playing Romo during this game that I disagreed with was we need to get him out there. That way he's ready if Dak Prescott gets injured, right? We need to get him some reps. I think that's just ridiculous, right? Because we don't have this conversation as it pertains to Matt Schaub, or as it pertains to Jimmy Garoppolo, or as it pertains to any other backup quarterback in the playoffs ever, right? Except for Tony Romo, right? For years, when the Patriots would go into Week 17, clinched everything, did you ever hear anyone say, they need to play their backup quarterback just in case Dak Prescott gets injured, that way that guy can get some reps? No, you play your backup quarterback only because you don't want your main quarterback to get injured. That's it. That's the only reason. It has nothing to do about your backup quarterback. We don't care about him. We care about our starting quarterback. But for some reason, Tony Romo is getting this special treatment and the special advocacy, and we need to give him this, that way he can be prepared for this and that. That Prescott ain't getting injured, dog. Forget about it. Tony Romo is on the bench this year, right? And he's gone after this year, right? And that's just what's going to happen. The book has been written, okay? It's the book of Jerry Jones, and that thing is written in stone, baby. Written in stone. Carson Wentz had a good game today, finishes off his season well. I know a lot of people are looking at his final stat line and they aren't very impressed, like 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. But when you look at his traits, what he's actually done this year, I've been impressed. I saw Marcus Mariota in his rookie season, and Mariota was better, but not by much. I like Carson Wentz a lot, and he'll be good moving forward. And this Eagles team will be good moving forward. But, Eagles fans, I don't know why they're so impatient. I'm sorry. Some of y'all, not all of y'all. What were y'all expecting? To me, this was one of the best case scenarios, and you got it this season. This is a great building block foundation for this franchise. Make some moves in free agency, and you guys will be back. Okay, you will be back. Let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers defeating the Cleveland Browns. Browns clinched the #1 pick in the 2017 NFL draft. Good for them. And they came real close to winning this game, man. And I told you in my picks and predictions video, watch as the Cleveland Browns get real close to winning this football game, man. I mean, they're probably going to be ahead. I said this, go back and watch. They're probably going to be ahead late, and then something ridiculous is going to happen, and they're going to lose the game. And what happened? They were ahead late, and Isaiah Crowell, actually they weren't ahead. It was tie game. They were down to the 3-yard line, and Isaiah Crowell fumbles the football inexplicably because either he wanted to, or Hugh Jackson told him to, or maybe just God wanted it to happen. I don't know. I don't care. Browns have the #1 pick. That's what whoever wanted, and now the powers that may be are satisfied. Good. Draft Myles Garrett. I kind of wanted the 49ers to get the #1 pick, though, just for my mock draft sake. Because now that the Browns have the #1 pick, I don't know who the 49ers are taking, right? I have to figure that out. But that's just the realm in which we are living. As for the Steelers, I don't want to overreact, and I won't, but I wasn't in love with this game. And I've been looking for reasons to pick you guys to beat the Patriots. This game is not one of them. I know you weren't playing a lot of your starters, but that was true offensively. Defensively, I saw Ryan Shazier. I saw Javon Hargrave, who got injured during this game. I saw Mike Mitchell. I saw some starting cornerbacks. I saw a lot more. I saw Lawrence Timmons, and I saw a lot of guys defensively, man, that play for you regularly. They didn't play well. That concerns me, man. How will you stop New England? You need to have an answer for New England. I don't think this Patriots team does, and they still might even choke against the Dolphins in the very first week of the playoffs. And then going to Kansas City, will they win that game? I don't know. So, this Steelers team, you've now won like 6 or 7 straight to end the season. That's great, but I'm not buying it. I want to buy it because I had this team going to the Super Bowl before the season, but I'm not buying it. Let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals at the LA Rams. Rams just got shellacked, and I don't think there's a franchise. The Jaguars are pretty hopeless, but outside of the Jaguars, I don't think there's a franchise that's as hopeless as the LA Rams. The Browns actually have hope. Want to know why? Because they have a first-round pick. The 49ers have hope. Why? Have a first-round pick. This team does not. And they're keeping Les Snead, their general manager. The Browns, they're keeping their idiots, right? But they have Myles Garrett. What do the Rams have? They traded their first-round pick to the Tennessee Titans, man. That hurts. Now, they do have hope in terms of this sense. For some reason that is unbeknownst to me, this head coaching job in LA is getting a lot of attention. We've heard John Gruden, we've heard Sean Payton, and we're starting to hear bigger and better names. Not than those guys, but pretty big names, right? So that shocks me, but it's true. So there's hope there. But, man, no first-round pick. Jared Goff has been Jared Goffle. Todd Gurley has disappeared. They have work to do. This defense has given up 40 points now multiple times this season. Man, you had a Pharaoh Cooper interception. You got Sean Mannion into this game late. Man, this team is pretty hopeless, dog. Good luck. And as for the Arizona Cardinals, how dare you? I picked you guys to win the Super Bowl this season, and this is how you repay me. By trolling the hell out of me the last couple of weeks and saying, hey, MJ, this is the team that we should have been. A team that's capable of going to Seattle and winning, and a team that is capable of shellac-a-lac in the LA Rams. How dare you? How dare you waste my time, waste my pick before the season for what? I mean, I can't even tell you why the Cardinals underwhelmed this season. A lot of people say quarterback. No, their defense has not played well. I mean, they've been good statistically. They don't let up a lot of yards, but a lot of points they give up for some weird reason. Yes, Carson Palmer hasn't been great, but their defense has had problems. I think Bruce Arians, you have to look at him. No one's looking at him. Why? If what's a good comparison for this situation? If Mike Tomlin has the season that the Cardinals had, people are asking for his job. You know, I don't understand why Bruce Arians is not getting looked at here. You had a Super Bowl roster, and you completely blew it. I mean, just completely blew it. Just completely underwhelmed from top to bottom. Bad, right? And you could say the Panthers did the same thing, but at least the Panthers won the Super Bowl last season. The Cardinals got shellacked by the Panthers in the NFC Championship game last year. You know, Bruce Arians has such a huge cushion, but man, I think his problem is he's a little too hard on his players, I think, man. I don't know. We move on, though, to the Denver Broncos, defeating the Oakland Raiders 24-6. And I had faith in the Raiders to win this game, and they let me down, man. They played horrible. And specifically, Matt McGloin played absolutely terrible, man. And the Raiders are finished, man. I mean, they're done. I mean, I could not believe how bad Matt McGloin was. I mean, just overthrowing everyone. I mean, you could have seen Zeus out there on the football field this very day, and he would not have been able to catch some of the passes that Matt McGloin was throwing today. Even if he threw his lightning bolt, he wouldn't be able to hit some of these footballs because they were just going in every direction, too high, and just out of bounds. What is he throwing at? You know, even Groot, you know, would not be able to stretch and catch a lot of these passes. I mean, just so terrible. Connor Cook comes in, and he still looks like the Connor Cook from Michigan State. You know, he had a terrible fumble and an interception, and it was bad. And this Raiders team, they're finished, dude. I didn't want to believe it, but man, they're so done. They're so finished, dude. They're so done. Defensively, they tried, but their offense, they can't do anything. We move on to the Denver Broncos part of things, and they won the game, but unfortunately, Gary Kubiak will be resigning, and I will make a separate video for that tomorrow. Trevor Siemian, I want to keep him. And I don't know why so many Bronco fans... See, there's a problem with y'all Bronco fans, right? Let's have a conversation. So, you guys win the Super Bowl, great. And I don't know what y'all were expecting this season. I had y'all going 8-8. A lot of people had y'all going 8-8. A lot of people had y'all going 6-10. Y'all go 9-7, and y'all are ready to tear the house down in a bad way. Y'all are burning stuff, saying, what a horrible season. Dude, calm down. It's just a Super Bowl lull. Everyone knew it was going to happen. You're fine. You go into next season with Siemian and Paxton Lynch. Trevor Siemian is only 25 years old, and he turned 25 years old just 6 days ago. Okay, the guy's still young. He can still improve. He's a sophomore, right? He was a sophomore. Now he's going to be a junior in the NFL, right? You have to give him time. Paxton Lynch. I have not been impressed with Paxton Lynch at all. And they were supposed to play him today, but they didn't. I don't know why, but man, this guy must not be very good. But let him develop. I really would not invest money into Tony Romo. I mean, if you want to, that's fine. Actually, I wouldn't hate on it. I'm not sure I do it, but we'll see what they do. I mean, to me, a first-round pick, you have to see that one through. But we'll see what they do. But don't sound like a Jay Cutler or a Colin Kaepernick or something to me. I think that'd just be a huge mistake. All right, let's move on to the Atlanta Falcons. defeating the New Orleans Saints 38-32. A shootout indeed. The Falcons had 35 points in the first half. Matt Ryan ended this game with 4 touchdowns and almost won the MVP to me. Maybe he did win it, but right now I think the front runner is Aaron Rodgers. What a great game. And this offense is legit, and they're scary. And, I'm looking at the bracket right now, and I'm only going to dissect it on this channel tomorrow, but to me, there's no reason why this Falcons team should not be in the NFC Championship game. Unless if the Seahawks choke against the Lions. If the Seahawks choke against the Lions, then the Falcons would play either the Giants or the Packers. And I could see them losing those. But, man, this Falcons team, I think they have a ticket to the NFC Championship game. And that's a game they could win and go straight to the Super Bowl, man. And would the Patriots be able to stop them? I don't know. I mean, who can stop this team? The Giants can. But the one thing that scares me about the Giants-Falcons matchup in terms of the Giants is how are the linebackers going to stop these running backs? Landon Collins can do it. Right? But if they have Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman out there on a 2 running back set, they have both of them running, one in the flat, one in a curl, like a 5-yard curl, something like that. He can only devote to one man. Right, so there's going to be an issue there. They do some misdirection. One running a flat right over there, running a screen over there. Can only devote to one guy. So this Falcons team, if they're smart, they'll find ways to isolate Landon Collins and end up winning that matchup to me against the New York Giants. So, this Falcons team is good. They need to be respected. They've won out now. I've heard Falcons fans saying we're going to win these last 4 games, and they did. And this Falcons team is legit. Matt Ryan appears to be legit. Wow. Let's talk about the Saints. The Saints, your season comes mercifully to another 7-9, and I can't believe the Saints are so consistent now. They're so consistent. 7-9 every year. That's their move now. It's incredible. Sean Payton, I think he's gone. I said this last year, though, and I was wrong. I could be wrong again, but I think the butterflies are flying around. I think the rumor central or circle or mill is just spinning way too much for me. I think he's gone. I think good. Right, I think someone needs to hold this defense accountable, man, because their first half performance was despicable. I mean, they gave up 5 touchdowns on 5 possessions. You know how bad that is? They couldn't stop anything to save their lives. They couldn't stop anybody. The Falcons didn't even go for it on a 4th down. So on just 3rd down after 3rd down, success. I mean, it was so bad. I mean, it was just awful. But you love the rookie season for Michael Thomas. You love the development of Brandon Cooks. You love your running game. But man, who can fix this defense? Because this defense, 5 touchdowns on 5 possessions in the first half, incredibly bad. All right, now let's move on to the Kansas City Chiefs as they defeat the San Diego Chargers 37-27. Chargers, their season comes to a merciful end. Oh, what a terrible end. They lose in San Diego. Could be their last game in San Diego. Philip Rivers gave it all he got, but man, 2 more interceptions for Philip Rivers. Now I believe his 6th straight game throwing an interception. A horrible ending to the season for Philip Rivers. And some will say that he's deteriorating because of age. No, it has nothing to do with age, right? Age does not make you throw the interception that he's throwing. He's not on the same page with his receivers. A lot of them are on out routes or corner routes. They have a lot of offensive issues right now. It has something. It's like his arm is getting weaker and he's throwing interceptions like Peyton Manning last year, or something like that. It has nothing to do with age. They need to fix their offense, but mainly to me, and I talked about this in my Chargers Fire Mike McCoy video, and I'll talk about it more in my Chargers season recap video. I would make this team into a defensive team. I want to center this team around Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, and then let Philip Rivers do his thing offensively to score a limited amount of points to win a football game. As for the Chiefs, though, very good win, very impressive win, a win that you guys needed. You guys slept against the Titans, but you beat the Chargers impressively, you beat the Broncos impressively, you beat the Raiders impressively. You guys can win games. Can you beat New England? Can you beat Pittsburgh? We will find out very soon enough. Let's move on to the Seattle Seahawks against the San Francisco 49ers. And the 49ers, you fought today. And, you know, you fired Chip Kelly, good. I'm going to make a separate video about that, so I'm not going to talk about it too much here. Colin Kaepernick did show some fight, had a nice touchdown throw to Garrett Selleck, zipped that pass in there, good for him. But, man, he's not good enough. Move on. Seattle. You guys have... I don't know. What has happened to you guys? I mean, just completely deteriorated into just not a very good team now. You finished 10-5-1. You're going to host the Detroit Lions. You should win that game. But after that, man, you're done. You're going to go to Atlanta, and I don't think it's going to be very close. I think you guys are going to lose easily to Atlanta, unless if the bye week cools them off, which it could. But, man, this is not a Super Bowl year for Seattle. It's just not. Trevon Boykin came into this game because they just benched Russell Wilson in the fourth quarter because they said, well, we can't get the bye week. We're out of here. And I'm not in love with this team's morale at all right now. We move on to nothing because that's the last game. There you go. Those are my thoughts on the NFL Week 17 game. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out.